The final problem I want you to look at is not in your textbook, but it is in your PowerPoint presentation. So I want you to look at that one. There's a little more uh, background about this problem on the slides. So please take a look at the slides. What we're going to do here is we have a situation where we have think of it as Best Buy. You sell electronics. You have a certain amount of space, square footage, and so much money. So which products do you stock? Which products do you want to sell in your store? Um, in this case, we have, so first, before we jump to the solver, we have a little bit of math here to figure out. We are told that TV DVRs, we have seven products. Each of them have a different initial investment. Each of them has a different floor space requirement, and each of them has a different return profit margin. When you go to create your solver, you need to calculate the profit per each of those products. And the way you do that is look at the formula, right? It's going to be you multiply the initial investment times the rate of return. That gives you the profit. So that's what's going to go right into your solver, and you're going to do that for each of them. Product 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you have the 7 products. You do it 7 times. Okay, so that's your profit per unit. Then you're going to have your Z, your objective, which is just normal. Okay, then you have 6 constraints. The first constraint is that you cannot spend more than $45,000 initial investment. So that means that this one, and as you can see, I deleted, I removed the extra zeros. So we're using a base of 1,000 here, right? So 6 times this one, if this one turns on, if we sell it, it's going to cost us 6,000. This one's going to cost 12,000, 20,000, 14,000, 15,000, 2,000, and 32,000, right from the table, right? Now, all of those combined cannot be more than 45,000. They cannot be more than 45 because that's our budget, 45. When this gets populated, that's going to get multiplied by this, and that's how solver knows not to go over 45. Our other constraint is floor space. You cannot use more than 420 square feet, whatever this is, square meters. So you do the same. 125 square meters or square footage, whatever, is going to be dedicated to TVs and DVRs. 150 to TVs, and so on and so forth. So the combination of all of those cannot be more than 420. And then we jump to the really interesting ones. These are the ones that the chapter covers at the very end of chapter 11. And I wish it spent a little more time. It doesn't go deep enough. But this is what is going on. The first one is, should not stock projection TVs unless they stock either TV, DVRs, or TVs. That's a condition. That means that X1 plus X2 has to be greater than X3. TV, DVRs, TVs, and projection TV. Sorry, I'm looking over here to make sure that I call them properly. Okay, so that would be it. I have it here on my left. That's what we're saying, because unfortunately that's not how solver works. Solver needs to have all the unknowns on the left side of the equation. You cannot have some on the left side and some on the right side. So you do a little bit of math and you move the X3 to this side, turning into a negative X3. That's why this becomes -1. So we have X1, X2, negative X3, again, because X3 goes to the other side as -3, and then greater or equal to 0. Okay, so that's the first one. The next one, and we call that conditional. I don't know if I said that, but we call that conditional, right? We must meet a condition for something else to happen. The next one is mutually exclusive. You do one, you can't do the other. And the way we do that one is, so in this case, we cannot stock both DVDs and DVRs and DVD players. So here's my DVR and here's my DVD player. So this means that if they both turn 1, 1 plus 1, that will be 2. So what we're saying is these two added cannot be more than 1. If they're more than 1, that violates the rule because we can only have one, either one, only one, but that will violate the rule. So that's how we tell solver, hey, when these two up here, when you start playing with the zeros and the ones, you cannot flip this 2 into a 1 because it will violate this constraint, okay? We cannot have both. We cannot have 2. We can only have 1. That's why this one is less or equal to 1. The third one is corequisite. In this case, to build one, we must build the other. That's basically it. So video games can only be sold, produced, if TVs are also stock or sold. So that means that TVs, which is x2, that's a 1, okay, has to be equal to a 1, a 1 x6, one video game, right? The two have to be flipped 1 for video games to exist, okay? Well, if you play with the math, I should have it here so you can see me doing it. Video games is 6. Okay, it's like that, but it ends up, sorry, mathematically, that's what's going on. That's how we get a negative here. And then you make it greater or equal to 0. And the last one, this one's actually pretty simple. At least 3 new products need to be introduced in the market. So that means if you flip all of them one, well, I'm sorry, if you enter a 1 across here, right? And then as this turns to zeros or ones, solver knows now that it cannot flip more than 3 from 0 to 1. It can only have 3. I'm sorry, it must have at least 3 of these products. It cannot have 2. That's why the sum of them is greater or equal to 3. And I'm sorry about that. So class, if we were saying the opposite, that no more than 3, all you have to do is change the sign. But in this case, is at least, not at most, at least 3 new products. So you need to have at least 3 ones here. You can have 4, 5, 6, up to 7, but you have to have at least 6. So now we're going to go to solver. And we enter all of our constraints. So this one is for C14, C15, which is this, right here, is less or equal to, what am I having? I'm sorry, not that one, this one out here, C14, these two, less or equal to these two, okay, that's fine. Then we have this one here, which is greater than 0, okay. Then we have constraint 4, which is that, less or equal to 1, that's fine. This one is the final 2. These two greater or equal to 0 and 3. And finally, we have our binary, right? Because these guys are here, right? They can be either 0 or 1. You stock it, or you don't. You sell it, or you don't. We're going to click OK. What did I do? Oh, every time I do that. Yeah. Okay. Everything looks fine. We're maximizing revenue by setting C5. Okay, that's changing. Is this correct? Yeah, that's correct. Okay, solve. Okay. So here's your answer. You are going to have, you're going to be stocking TV DVRs, projection TVs, and DVD players. And that is the profit that you're going to make. And as you can see, we're only going to carry 3 lines of product. We're not going to carry more than 3, probably because I'm going to make the assumption. Well, I should know. Let me see. 365. Oh, well, we still have a little bit of footage left, but unfortunately, I guess Solver um, couldn't find something to do with the extra footage. And unfortunately, with only $4,000, as you can see, we only have $4,000 left in our budget. Uh, the video games. We could have put the video games there, right? No, we couldn't. 2,000, yeah, for that would be enough. And then why can't we do the video games? 43. Oh, it violates, yes, it violates the constraint number 5. That's why. Sorry. Okay, that's it.